Hey guys, Towers here. Welcome back to DMZ. Probably going to be flying solo today. Going to be working on some passive upgrades and faction mission progress with Crown. I hop into a warm-up in the firing range. I'm actually going to try to figure out a build with so you'll find two versions of the Vaznev as ground loot in Al-Mazrah. You'll find it as most commonly in this configuration with just the stockless mod, and then you'll also find it completely naked like this. So I've got a build I started using based off of the stockless mod, and this is what that looks like. We're starting with our stockless mod. We're first moving into a 45 round magazine, and then the very next thing we add is a hip-fire laser, and then we add a hip-fire vertical foregrip, and then a muzzle device that gives us a little bit better recoil control as we're ADS'd. The Lacerda gives us horizontal only, which is it's the only one we care about. And there's no tuning on this because this is intended to be a workbench build that you can just build and start going to work with. You aren't able to tune anything at the workbench, so but we have a different build. We don't really use this build at all. This is an ADS build. It has a long heavy barrel on it with an ADS laser. I'm just going to bring this into the firing range real quick just to see what the ADS time is like on this. So that's not bad. You're going to suffer some movement speed debuffs with leaving the stock on there, the heavy barrel, and the other two attachments, the muzzle device and the foregrip. I'm going to quickly figure out a build for the other ground loot Vaznev that you'll find is just a completely naked Vaznev like this. The tier 2 bots will be carrying these around. Those are the guys in the sort of green armor. So I would first add a 45 round mag. Maybe keep the hip-fire laser. vertical foregrip for hip fire. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Okay, so the main difference between this is my main build now for the Vaznev. I think it's a really strong build. Um, it's you have good mobility, but also you're still retaining very good recoil control. That Grimline laser, uh, which is a type of hip fire laser, works very. It does a lot of work for you. You just have to hold your crosshairs over someone, and that's the spread of your bullets in hip fire is very, very tight. So um, you do have a bright green visible laser, but if you know you're going to be moving and shooting with this thing, so the only real time that'll come back to bite you is maybe if you're doing a smoke play. If you and the other guy are in the smoke together, he might have a better idea of exactly where you are, um, or not exactly, but he'll have a better idea of where you are um, if he's trying to find you in the smoke. But um, I am a smoke player, so that could be a disadvantage for me in a more significant portion of scenarios. But um, I haven't seen a kill cam yet where my laser is the thing that gives me away. Um, but I would recommend you try this build out for yourself. But the only difference between this build and this new build I just made is just so we don't have to waste more resources on getting that stockless mod back. If we pick up a Vaznev and it already has the regular stock on it, we're just going to change that stockless mod for some hollow point ammunition. And I like to run SMGs without the hollow points because I still would like to have penetration. I'd like to be able to punch through a little bit, and you do have some penetration with an SMG. It's very weak, but if you run a hollow point ammunition type, all of that penetration will go away. So I'd rather have some than none. But this is just kind of like a stopgap measure to just to kind of to conserve resources or to make better use of resources. But really, all you need to really get going with a Vaznev, the weapon is so strong already. If you find a Vaznev in this configuration, all you really need to get going is two attachments, and that is the magazine and some kind of hip fire laser. I would recommend the Grim line. It gives you the most beneficial stats. It gives you sprint to fire speed along with your hip recoil control and accuracy. So we can see that even the accuracy stat is kind of boosted with this laser. I'm not sure if that's a reflection of something real happening or if that's just a bar graph kind of thing happening, but these are the only two attachments that and again, you're going to have this, attachment there for you already. So the only things you need to add would be the 45 round mag, which is a necessity, and a hip fire laser, and from there you can start fighting. The other attachments are kind of just bonuses from there, and the order in which you would want to place them is mag first, then your laser, and then you would add your vertical foregrip, your hex 40. Gives you a whole bunch of beneficial stats, and it only takes away slightly from your hip walking speed, which is not a big deal, and your ADS time, which really I don't think you are sacrificing anything because your stockless mod is already giving you ADS time back. So I don't think you're actually losing any ADS time by adding that foregrip on there. And then after your foregrip, you'll add your muzzle device. So it's a very strong build. Let's try it out. I think we'll practice with this one just to get a feel for it. And actually I have to take care of something really quickly, IRL, so I will resume with a part 2 in just a minute here. But I will be right back, guys.